It's official. Whyte has thrown his toys out of the pram. Ryan Garcia is moaning yet again. And Josh Taylor comes out with a manufactured statement. Welcome to Fight Club 24/7. My name is Johnny Rashman. This is Boxing Chat. Right, let's get straight into the news. It's been confirmed what I said all along, that Whyte has thrown his toys out of the pram. He won't take part in any press conferences. Bob Arum has informed people. Apparently, he doesn't want to take part in anything. The only thing he'll take part in media related is the last press conference of Fight Week, according to Bob Arum. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable. Kicking the teeth for boxing fans, sets a dangerous precedent for boxing. It's absolutely disgraceful. The bloke's happy to take his £6 million. If he's that bothered about how he's been treated by the WBC or Frank Warren, don't fight, mate. If you've got principles, don't fight. Say, you know what, I'm not going to fight for your organisation or your promotional outlet. He's not doing that, is he? Grabbing the money, right, taking the money home, but doesn't want to play any part in the promotion. For me, he's just ruining the whole event, because boxing live or dies by the promotion of a fight. It does. If every boxer decided to not promote a fight, pro boxing would die. Right? There'd be no demand, there'd be no sponsors, there'd be no money put in the game, there'd be no broadcasters. No one would want to watch boxing, right? Because boxing is an entertainment business. Yes, you have to fight, right? And ultimately, you are judged by your fights. But there's also a hell of a lot that goes into it in the promotional side of things. Boxing is a business. It's all about promotion. Everyone loves the build up to big fights. And the fact he's taking no part in it and still taking his money home is disgraceful. I think he should be docked some of his purse. I think he's not thought of the fans' considerations at any point of this process. He's still not come out and acknowledged the fight. I mean, who does this guy think he is? I mean, as I've said before, I think he looks in the mirror and sees Canelo or Floyd Mayweather looking back. That's what I think. But let me talk facts here. Want to talk facts? You got knocked out 2 fights ago by Alexander Povetkin, 39 years old, may have been 40, right? Completely shot to pieces. You were knocked out, put on the floor, right? Finished. Someone would have said to you then, you know what, Dilly, in 2 fights' time, we're going to give you £6 million. You're going to fight in Wembley for the WBC title. You'd have grabbed it, wouldn't you? You would have grabbed it. As far as I'm concerned, the Povetkin rematch win should be wiped off his record. Povetkin had no interest in winning that fight, didn't train for it, just took the money home. And you're telling me on the back of that, you get to become a mandatory challenger, even though it might have been for an interim belt or whatever. Doesn't sit right with me again. So I don't understand where this entitlement comes from. I want to talk about some things about his advisors come out with. Some absolute waffle his advisors come out with. Right. His lawyer, Jeffrey Benz, has told Sunsport, Whyte would have been more than happy to attend the ticket launch event, but was not able to reach an agreement with Frank Warren's Queensberry Promotions on even his very basic requirements, which are normal in the sport of boxing. But they didn't even give us notice of where and when this one-sided shindig will occur. It really is incredible. We are dealing with dinosaurs here. They bid 41 million for a fight, but they're all over the place. They haven't even met Dillian basic requirements, which are entirely usual and not out of the ordinary. Right, okay. Team Whyte's advisor, Benz, laid out the list of the reasons. Their Sky Sports pay-per-view star will not pose for photos or play ball. Let's look at these reasons, okay? Dillian has been given no guarantee or escrow that he will actually get paid for fighting. Okay. Queensberry haven't offered him a complimentary ticket allocation as is standard. Not even a single ticket for his mother or any opportunity to buy any for his family, friends or extended team. Right, okay. You're getting £6 million, mate. I'm sure you can afford a ticket. Yeah. Pay for it yourself. They won't advise on whether and to what extent Fury is subject to anti-doping testing by UKAD, or by other bodies in the same way that Dillian is regularly tested by both UCAD and VADA. Right, okay. Wait, just hold on a second. Dillian Whyte is complaining about drug testing. This is the bloke who has failed 2 drug tests. Right, not 1, 2. First one was in 2013 when he took a pre-workout, a Jack 3D, it's called. You take it before you go to the gym. Apparently, there was things in there that showed up when he got drug tested. He never knew about it. He went to a hearing and they banned him. They said they actually said that they basically agreed with him that he didn't knowingly take it. He didn't knowingly take any PEDs. It was in this so-called drink, but they banned him because he should know what he's taking. Right? Okay. The other one was the Oscar Rivas one, which we've still not seen a B sample for. Again, they cleared him of that. They said they cleared him of that. So he's been banned for one and cleared of another one, but we've not seen a B sample for another one. Yet you're going on about drug testing. Right, okay. They used artwork with a photo of Dillian and didn't seek his consent or even feature him with a WBC World Championship belt. Boo-hoo. What a shame that is. So the guy who's been given £6 million as a purse is moaning because they didn't get a picture right of him. Sweet that. And bizarrely, they won't even tell him the size of the ring that he'll be competing in. You're not the A-side, mate. You're the challenger. You're not the A-side. You're entitled to absolutely nothing, right? You got knocked out 2 fights ago. When you're the B-side, you have to suck it up, right? On the premise that you're going to go in there on fight night, win, then you can be the A-side. Like Fury did against Klitschko, right? Like everyone else has done when they've been B-side of promotions, right? You're not the A-side. You're the B-side. And this, I mean, the last one, I mean, this, you want to talk about hypocrisy. Ben said that Dillian fears Fury will pull out of the fight. He says, Dillian is chomping at the bit to fight Fury, even though he feels Fury doesn't want to fight him. And he fears that he will pull out late in the day with a lame excuse like a broken fingernail or a nettle sting, or view of his track record. Right, okay. Right, let me just go back. Dillian Whyte is saying Fury's going to pull out. What happened to Otto Wallen? Why don't you ask Dillian Whyte what happened to the Otto Wallen fight? Because if we're going off track records here, as Mr. Benz thinks we should do, the only one who's pulled out of a fight recently is Dillian Whyte, with a week to go with a shoulder injury. So if we want to go down that route, he was the one who's pulled out of his most recent fight. Did Otto Wallen get any money for that? Did he get paid? Did he get any money? Was his money put in an escrow account? Wasn't, was it? Just unbelievable. I mean, the bloke thinks he's entitled. I've always been a big Dillian Whyte fan, but I've lost complete respect for him, because for me, if you're going to take a stand, if you're going to have such high morals and principles, then don't fight. Go and say, you know what? I don't want anything to do with WBC. I don't want anything to do with Frank Warren. Not interested, right? I'd respect him more, but you're not. You're taking the money, aren't you? It's all right for you to grab the £6 million, which no promoter in boxing is going to pay you, right? Besides Frank Warren, your own promoter, Eddie Hearn, didn't want to pay you that, did he? Didn't want to pay you, what are you getting, $6 million or $8 million, whatever it is. Eddie Hearn wasn't going to pay you that. Didn't win the purse bid, did he? So, for me, you're going to slag off a promoter and you're going to call out, you're going to say they're doing this, they're doing that. When I just look at reality, and the reality is you're getting the biggest purse by far you've ever had in your life, right? And generated by the fans, yet you've not come out and said one thing. I mean, I'd respect it if you came out and said, you know what, I'm not going to play any part in this promotion. I do apologise to the fans. But believe me, I will make up with it on fight night. It's nothing to do with the fans. It's it's the issues I have with the WBC of Frank. Well, just anything, but he's not. I mean, I wouldn't even support him, to be quite honest with you, if I was a fan, because he's not thought of the fans' considerations at any point. It's all me. And it's disgraceful. It really is. And as I said, if he would have come out with a statement and just even acknowledged it or even thanked the fans, not has he? Not said anything. All I hear is a list of excuses and demands and excuses. When this is a challenger, right, who was knocked out 2 fights ago by a shot fighter who retired the fight after. Like, what are you entitled to? You're getting £6 million. You can't afford, go and buy your own tickets. If you're getting out of your own £6 million purse. Talking about fighters pulling out, that's rich. Ask Otto Wallen, talking about drug test. Failed 2 drug test. Very disappointing, Dylan Whyte. It's the last I'm going to say on it. So he can do what he wants. Ryan Garcia, right, he's come out and basically said Eddie Venosa didn't have time for him. That's why he's left. What you got to understand is, I can understand what he's saying by that because it is true. When you have a big stable of fighters, trainers can't give 100% of the time. They can't because they've got other fighters they've got to work with. But Ryan Garcia is at a stage now where, love him or hate him, he is a star. He's a big star. So he's thinking, I need all the attention on me. But obviously that's not going to happen if you've got a stable with Canelo. You've got Oscar Valdez and you've got big stars in the stable. So I understand that. But there's like a subliminal message. Canelo came out and said, basically, Ryan Garcia just didn't put the effort in. He was just coming in, doing a few days a week and fucking off. That's what he said. Then Garcia came out and said, he only came, he was, for the Fonseca fight, he was only training me for 2 weeks. And asked Frank Sanchez that he only turned up on fight night for his fight, and he just basically saying he wasn't giving me the time. But then he also said there's other reasons why I left, and Canelo knows that. What's that? What is the other reason? Something to do with drugs? Allegedly, I don't know. What's the other reason? For me, Ryan Garcia, he's put himself in the corner now because now he's being looked at as an Instagram boxer because he shut his mouth off for years. Then he came out using mental health as an excuse, which I think was completely wrong. I think that was just an excuse. Right? I'm all for mental health. I know people who suffer from it. And yet he's coming out and basically using it as an excuse as not to fight. When really you're here, there and everywhere. If you've got mental health problems, you've got such bad anxiety, you won't be coming out in front of the camera, would you, all the time? And I know people can say it's a silent killer and people don't know, but it's very easy for people to use it as an excuse. And for me, Ryan Garcia used it as an excuse why he's not fought for the last year. I think there's other things going on. Other people may not want to say it. I will. I don't believe for 1 second it's all to do with mental health. I don't know what's gone on. I don't know if it's promotional problems and if it's drug problems. I don't know what it is. But I don't believe for 1 minute it's all to do with mental health. Then he comes back, starts shooting his mouth off again. Right? Who is going to fight? He's going to fight this, and this one. And yet fights an opponent no one's ever heard of. Which is understandable because it's his comeback fight. So, and I said it straight away. I said that he's not going to fight Isaac Cruz. He wasn't going to take a dangerous fight. He just wasn't going to do that after so many months without fighting. Over a year. So he just wasn't going to have a dangerous fight after a year of inactivity. And that's that. So it's interesting with Ryan Garcia because his development has gone like that, right? He's changed trainer, right? Who knows when he's been in the gym? Canelo says he wasn't turning up. What's he going to be as a fighter? How's his development going to be as a fighter? He was already a flawed fighter as it is, right? He went to Reynosa to try and clear his defenses up and try and brush up on things. He's going to brush up on his weaknesses now. He's got terrible foot movement. He's got terrible defense. He's got terrible head movement. He's unbelievably good offensively, great attacking wise. Fast hands, tremendous left hook, good body, good combination puncher, but has severe flaws. So who's going to brush them up? I don't know. I think his development has gone completely the other way. And I think he's in big trouble. I think he'll get knocked out. I think he'll get knocked out viciously at some point now, unless he knuckles down. Right. Jack Catterall and Josh Taylor, I put a video out as soon as the fight finished. Josh Taylor's come out with a statement. I believe it's just a manufactured statement from his management team, or his promoters, whoever it is. It just seems scripted to me. He thinks he still won the fight. I mean, come on, mate. Right? All right. Even if you're not going to come out and say you lost, just say it was a very close fight and the decision probably was wrong. Could have gone either way. You know, just allude to it that could have gone either way. But he begrudgingly said it was a close fight, and it's like, come on, mate. And he still thinks he won the fight. Just show some humility and just be honest. You lost the fight. I don't know if Ben Davidson's come out and said anything. I don't know. I think with Ben Davidson, since he waffled that absolute nonsense a few months ago about how he outworks all these trainers and it's unrivaled work and other trainers are lazy. Show some humility. Try and learn. Right, stop thinking you know everything, because you don't. You're a 28-year-old with no experience in training apart from being handed fighters. I don't know if you've worked in amateur clubs. I don't know if you've. I know for a fact you've not ever taken anyone from a pro debut to a belt, or have you ever had an amateur fighter? Have you ever won them titles? Because that's hard, by the way. Because look at a trainer called Kieran Farrell. He's got a young girl called Emily Whitworth. What a fighter she is, by the way. I'm telling you, she's a little talent here, right? She's winning European amateur belts, and she's going to fight for England. Can Ben Davidson say he's ever done that? He's all right taking the accolades and coming out and putting his face in front of the cameras when he's taking over world champions. Since you've come out with that statement, what's happened? McGregor's come to a draw, and Josh Taylor looked the worst I've ever seen him. So really, you should be coming out. If you want to give it the big in when you're doing well, you've got to come out and say, you know what, I was wrong. I shouldn't have said what I said. I was annoyed. I get a lot of stick. And to be fair, he does get a lot of stick. Sometimes it's not right, the stick he gets, right? Sometimes he does call for it. Sometimes he doesn't, right? Don't need to get absolutely annihilated, does he? Right? He's obviously got some talent as a coach, right? But he's not the coach he thinks he is. Certainly not. So come out, show some humility, mate. Even Michaela Mayer. I like Michaela Mayer. You know what? She really does say it how it is. I think she's a great pundit. She's a great fighter. I'd have her on Sky Sports every week, to be quite honest with you, because she really does call things for what it is. And she said about Ben Davidson, basically said, I don't even know why people employ him, basically. So I like Michaela Mayer. Right, let me know what you think about Dillian Whyte throwing his toys out of the pram. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? What about Ryan Garcia? Who's talking nonsense? Is Canelo right, or is something else going on? Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall. Let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe.